Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today. Today, we're going to be talking about why the Houston Texans won the first round in the NFL draft and possibly even the whole draft. We can't say the whole draft because you still got rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 and 7. You still got what? You still have 6 more rounds left. I mean, there's 7 rounds, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, so yeah, you still have 6 more rounds left. And so in my opinion, I don't think you can really say anybody has won the NFL draft until it is officially over. But I can guarantee that the Houston Texans definitely did win. They definitely did win the first round. That is in my opinion, that is a fact. You going in, you had the second overall pick, and you wanted Will Anderson Jr., but you wanted a quarterback. And ever been at a restaurant where you want 2 things, and you can't decide which one you want? That's kind of the decision that the Houston Texans were in here, but the Houston Texans said, why not both? Which is a restaurant you're not going to do. You're not going to get both unless you're really bad at making decisions. But the Houston Texans, in this case, went for both. The Houston Texans were sitting at 12. Obviously, Will Anderson Jr. is not going to fall at 12. He was either going to go at 3 or 4, because if someone else traded up for 3, maybe it could have been to get a quarterback. Maybe that's what I'm just saying. Maybe someone else would have jumped up to get a quarterback. It didn't happen, but if someone else would have jumped up, maybe it would have been for a different reason. I'm just saying, what if possibly the Titans traded up for Anthony Richardson? Then the Colts would have probably drafted Will Levis. Then you probably would have not seen Will Anderson Jr. at 5. But that was the latest you were going to see Will Anderson Jr. go, was 5. And so the Texans sitting there at 12 said, we want Will Anderson Jr. really bad. We also really need a quarterback. So we'll trade from 12 to 3. And the Texans give the 12th overall pick, the 33rd overall pick, their 2024 first round pick, a 2024 third round pick, and I do believe a 7th round pick for this season. And not only with the 3rd overall pick, they get back in return a 4th round pick, which is 105. So the Houston Texans got a 4th, and the 3rd overall pick for all that, which might have given up a tiny bit too much, but I think it was worth it for what they got in return. So you get Will Anderson Jr. at 3. I mean, you got arguably 2 of the 3 best guys in the draft in the top 3. I mean, you got both of those guys on your roster. Only 2 times in the NFL that a team has had two picks in the top 3, and the Texans have the Texans already had a solid defense with Derek Stingley Jr., Jalen Petrie, Jimmy Ward, Christian Harris, John Grenard, Denzel Perryman, a couple other guys that are solid on the defense, and then so their defense was already pretty decent before DeMeco Ryans came on the staff. Then you had DeMeco Ryans on the staff. This guy's a genius when it comes to defense, and the way he coaches with defense. And it's just how much of a change these guys not only came in free agency for the Texans, but were already here with the Texans last season on the defense. It's going to be a real difference for them, and they're going to learn from DeMeco. He's going to be tough on them on defense, and DeMeco is going to be way better than what those 4 guys, Christian Harris, Jalen Petrie, Derek Stingley Jr., and John Grenard had last year with Lovie Smith. And the new guys like Jimmy Ward, who was with DeMeco in San Francisco for years, and Denzel Perryman, who was signed from the Raiders. They're going to experience what it's like to be coached by DeMeco. And then, so that was going to, DeMeco coming in and bringing his staff, that was going to make those top 6 guys on the defense even better. That was going to make the Texans maybe a top 15 defense right there, if not even better than that. And then you add in the best defensive player in this draft, Will Anderson Jr. at linebacker. What he's going to bring to the table for this Texans defense with, bringing pressure to the quarterback is going to be a big thing. Our defensive line and our linebackers gave the quarterback way too much time last season in the pocket, which was, one of the reasons why teams scored so much on us, because they had a lot of time to throw the ball to their wide receivers. And you saw a lot of, stupid plays against the Texans defense where, like, why are we giving them so much time to throw the ball and, get it into the wide receiver's hands? I don't think it's going to be as easy next year with Will Anderson Jr. And now going over to C.J. Stroud, and also he's gonna also get in a division in the AFC South where you have Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, who you've never been able to stop in his whole career. I mean, he's drafted 2015. You have never been able to stop him. Jonathan Taylor, if Jonathan Taylor is healthy next season, the Texans were not able to stop Jonathan Taylor in 2021. Last year in the final game against the Jaguars, we couldn't stop Travis Etienne. So, in that case, I mean, how are we going to stop the running game, which was our biggest problem on defense last season? Will Anderson is going to come in to help stopping the run against King Henry, Travis Etienne, and Jonathan Taylor if he's healthy. I think it's going to be a big difference for our running defense. And as for C.J. Stroud, as much as some Texans fans were hating on him before the draft, and everybody's now so excited about him, which is so stupid. I mean, like, people are like, oh, we don't want C.J. Stroud, I hate him. And then they're like, oh my God, I love C.J. Stroud. He's going to be such a good quarterback. Like, I admit I had my worries about C.J. Stroud, but I never said anything like I don't want us to draft him. As much as I had my worries, I knew what we needed to do. We needed to draft a quarterback, and that was for sure. And I personally think we made the right decision. And I think what we did was right. We got a quarterback. I think he has an incredible accuracy. He has an incredible deep ball. And he has some great wide receivers coming into Houston. Out of any of the guys that were drafted last night, whether it's Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, or Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud has the best wide receiver core out of the three of those guys. I mean, I don't even know who Bryce Young has to throw the ball to in his rookie season. Terrence Marshall is probably the number one. Oh, I mean, he has. Never mind, I forgot. They have they signed. Never mind. They have Adam Thielen and DJ Chark Jr., but that's really it besides those two guys. And then the Colts, their best wide receiver is Michael Pittman Jr., and he didn't have a great 2022 season. Now, you look at the wide receivers for the Texans. They got Robert Woods, a guy who had 700, 800 receiving yards with the Texans last season. With the Titans last season in an offense that 75% of the play calls is hand the ball to Derrick Henry and get the fuck out of the way. So, and that was also coming off an ACL tear. We've seen him be an elite wide receiver in the past with the Rams, and I think he's going to keep that up in year one with the Texans. I think he's going to be really good. John Mechie, he's supposed to be a stud coming back from leukemia. I think he's going to be amazing for the Houston Texans next season. That's another guy for C.J. Stroud to throw the ball to. Noah Brown, a guy who was kind of held back by CeeDee Lamb on the Cowboys last season, and he was kind of held back, to be honest. And he had like 485 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns, whatever, and had a great year. The Cowboys, but it was held back by CD. And he kind of does stuff that CD does. Their game is a little similar, and I think that he's kind of a CD 2.0. I think he's going to be another heavy target for CJ Stroud as well. Then another guy, you got Nico Collins. If he's healthy, I think he's great for the Texans. The only question is he healthy. That's the only concern for the Texans. And then you had Dalton Schultz at the tight end. I think he had 600 receiving yards for the Cowboys last season with three touchdown receptions and 2 touchdowns in the wild card game against the Bucs. He's another great tight end. And they also added in Devin Singletary and have Dameon Pierce. So I think out of the whole around offense, I think CJ Stroud has the best offense with Schultz, Mechie, Woods, Brown, Collins, Singletary, and Pierce. I think out of all the rookie quarterbacks, I think C.J. Stroud has the best weapons and the best offense around him. And you could disagree, but I think that's personally, and I do think the Houston Texans did win the first round. And I think there's definitely, if they do well in this third round tonight and this fourth round tomorrow and later in the draft as well, I think they're definitely going to win this draft, for sure. But I think those steal the first round. I think they won the draft, won the first round, and it's unbelievable. I can't wait for next season. You guys have your thoughts on the video, and if you think the Houston Texans won the first round, that's it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, and peace out. Go Texans.